Yay Media Group.
Welcome to My Safe Word is More with your hosts, Corinne Kaplan from Survivor and Amazing Race, Al Jackson, stand-up comedian. I'm your producer, Chris Clark. This is My Safe Word is More.
What up?
Hi, friends.
Hello.
Hi.
What do you do?
This is going to be a fun episode because I'm going to take us back to the thing that I really started this podcast about and what I do best, and that is my disastrous dating stories.
Oh,
all right, let's hear it. I know.
It makes me reminisce about how we first met. That was how we bonded.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so today I'm going to walk you cover to cover on a particularly
interesting,
cringeworthy.
I'm cringing already.
I know. Chris knows the story. Al, as per usual, has no idea what I'm going to say. I have two different dating stories of my own. And then I have like a couple of interesting things to go through. Just other Hinge profiles, some stuff that'll be fun. Really back to our roots.
We're going back to the roots.
Yes. And then I have a listener Gmail that is asking a dating advice question. So this is all going to be dating. So if you've missed my dating stories, you're in luck today.
Oh, and there is a treasure trove of an archive.
Yes.
For you to go back and check.
Yeah. I mean, I know that what you guys thought is that, they took like a 2-month break. Perhaps Corinne's in a relationship. Can't even say that with a straight face. Or like, she hasn't said anything about dating. Maybe she's like low-key dating someone. Don't worry, I'm not.
Yeah. What if you got happy and it ended this podcast?
It wouldn't. It will never happen. And I've said this time and time again. If you had a genie in front of me and I could only get one wish granted, and it was to have my podcast become really successful or to find the love of my life, 100% of the time I would pick the podcast. No questions asked. Not a hesitation. That's how much I care about this podcast and you people.
You should be staying in a divorce lawyer's office. Like that. He can have the kids. I'm not pushing back.
The married guy I dated years ago, there was a point when they were in the divorce proceedings and they were both going, if you want to get divorced, you have to take the kids then. No, you have to take the kids. And I was like, we're not getting the kids, right?
Oh, my God.
And I didn't know because I was so young at the time.
You have to take the kids.
They were threatening each other. Yeah.
You talk about some dangerous leaked audio.
You're going to get 100% custody.
Wow. You imagine hearing your parents say that?
I didn't know that was weird until much later on, like till I had dated many more married men that were like really upset about that.
What did you think a custody dispute was about? That they both didn't want the kids? No.
Yeah.
Usually they do want the kids. That's the thing.
I swear to God, I was like,
that's the twist.
Oh God, you could be the one with the most vacation. Get the least 10% custody. I'll get them for the summer. Like the smallest amount of custody possible sounds ideal.
Custody's made a lot of lawyers a lot of money. Man.
So, okay, back to the story at hand. So I matched with this gentleman who, looks wise, up my alley, 6'2", seemed fine. We started
ringing endorsement.
I know. Well, I don't have we're going to get to why I don't have the messages on Bumble anymore, but we matched on Bumble and he did something that I really liked. And I have said this, even like the gingerbread man did this, and it's rare. People don't do this. If you're listening and you want to get better at dating, I'm no Franny. My friend Franny, who has a very good podcast, dear Franny. So what he did was he said, I would like to take you on a date. Please choose from a farmer's market, lunch, happy hour, or maybe a Rockies game.
Are you dating AI? That's like the most robot-like.
I loved
These are the 3 activities humans enjoy on sunny days.
So I thought I was like super into this because I was like, great, a guy who can plan. He's giving me options. He's like, a Rockies game, that's walkable from me.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay. So I was like, yeah, actually, I really appreciate that. I would love to meet up. And so he goes, okay, when are you free? I tell him this was a particular Saturday that I could do. And he's like, okay, let's meet at 1 p.m. in Cherry Creek. There's a farmer's market.
Why didn't he go, do you want to meet at 1, 3, 5, or 6:30?
I think I told him 1, and he was like, okay, how about Cherry Creek for this farmer's market? And then we can go to the Cherry Creek Grill for lunch. So I was like, amazing. That is a perfect plan.
Way to vary it up.
Yeah. So
I would like to be in the most homogenous place for a late lunch, but then the exact same place for dinner.
So,
Got
okay.
it.
So, it's farmer's market and lunch, and they were in the same place. Okay. So I'm like, great. This all sounds great. So I go out Friday night. Ironically, I went to a Rockies game where I hung out with Sar and Erica and her husband.
Shout out.
And what I had done that day, I don't suggest doing. And that was I took a daytime Ambien.
Oh, yes.
And then when Erica was like, we want to go to the game, we like, I can't ever say, I like the idea of being the third wheel to that couple is like my favorite couple.
Right.
And so
They're great.
like the second she offered it up, I was like, oh, I took a daytime Ambien. It's okay. I'll take a daytime Adderall. So I go to
Is
the
it
game.
like when Marvel, the fire and the ice guy run into each other?
Yes. So, I mean, I was at the tail end of the Ambien, and so I just revved it up with the Adderall. And it was great. I had a great time. And then you could ask anyone that was there, your girlfriend included. I was very normal.
Can I ask you, do you remember?
Yes.
How much do you remember?
No, I remember. But the reason I'm telling you this is
Who did the Rockies play?
the Dodgers.
Oh.
But I saw none of the game.
Okay. I can't believe
Zero.
you nailed that.
I did. Because I literally just offered my brother, my friend Sarah can get us tickets to the Rockies game. My brother goes, the season's fucking over.
Season's been over for a week.
I know. So anyways, that's how come I know. Because I just went to a game. Because which one I got? The last one.
Yeah.
And so he said the Dodgers, which is how I now know. Anyways, nevertheless, the reason I'm telling you this is I was incredibly hungover. And so I had to obviously dose the Xanax at like 7 in the morning. I know this does not look great, but I don't have a problem. I swear to God, I don't. But I was like, okay, I'm going to be ready for this one. I'll get it together, reset for the high score at 1 p.m. At 10:30 in the morning, he messages me. He's like, hey, actually, do you want to just go for a walk in Wash Park now?
No.
And I was like,
No.
I mean, in my head, I was like, I absolutely do not want to do that. But I thought, well, you're going to get your lazy ass up and at least you'll get a good 5-mile walk in, right? Go do 2 laps on Wash Park. And so my
You are
primary
talking
concern
a different language. I would be like,
My primary
first of all, I would have
concern
missed the call.
is just getting a workout in. So even though I'm completely like not prepared to do this, I was like, whatever, I'll put on workout clothes. So he's like, can you leave right now? And I found that like irritating. Like, this wasn't the plan. And I need, like, it's a 20-minute ride for me. And so I said, I can leave in like 15. Well, he goes, well, I'm leaving right now.
Ooh.
So he's going to have to wait for me there. Okay. So I get to the park. And when I arrive at the park, he first out the gates, he goes, I just want to let you know I deleted Bumble.
No, he did not.
And I was like, okay.
Those are those are like the 3 words that every woman on the app wants to hear. Not
It's
I
not
love you.
me.
I deleted Bumble.
Not me. I don't know what my problem is. Like, I was telling my colleague Elise this story, and she's like, it sounds like he's really interested in a relationship, and specifically with you. And I was like, ew, who wants to be in a relationship with someone who wants to be in a relationship with them? Like,
Happy people. This
like
is where the
that.
mushrooms come. It's all.
so off-putting. Okay, well, so on this date, he's like, immediately launches into, first he keeps saying, he goes, I live about 30 minutes from here. Is that going to be a problem? And I was like, no, but I'm also never coming to your city. I know what city it is. I'm trying to leave it anonymous because Lord knows I've made enough mistakes where I give out too much information.
Compton, California.
So, no, I mean, it's like it's in the Colorado, it's 30 minutes from Denver. And he's like, is that going to be a problem? And I said, not really, but I'm not going to go to your city. And he's like, well, I would expect that you'll sleep at my house as often as I sleep at your house. And I'm like,
What is this cold dialogue you guys have with each other? It's just numbers and expectations.
okay, but it's clear that, and so then he says to me, and I'm trying to roll the story out in such a way so you'll understand, because I am, first of all, in no position to be like digesting what he's saying. And he goes, I have been wanting to meet you for years.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, we matched a week ago.
And
he's
then
like,
the lid of his car trunk shut.
he goes, I know we matched a week ago, but I have seen you on this app for years.
Oh.
Oh no, you guys, I think I'm gonna have to get off the apps and like get on different ones. How's Tinder look these days?
You absolutely have to get off this app right now. If like you're an OG where people are saying that they saw you in real life like Bigfoot, that's a problem.
Well, I wish we could stop there, but we cannot.
Oh.
He then says, well, where did you live before you bought your townhouse? And I was like, oh, I lived in Rhino. And he's like, where? And I was like, I'm going to make up a Lakeview Apartments, whatever. That's not what it's called. And he goes, oh, yeah? I was on the 5th floor.
What?
He lived in the same building as I did, which I lived in 2019 and part of 2020. And I believe what's going on here is we have a real long game. going on.
Wow.
So now let's talk about what he did on the actual date and what he did after, because...
Are you not freaked out? Because there are two ways to look at this. There are two ways.
Mm-hmm.
One, this is serendipitous, or this is kind of romantic that he saw my face all those years ago, and he's a normal person, and we just happen to kind of run into each other 2 or 3 times. Or,
big or.
this is a person that's going to end up putting you on a podcast about missing adults.
Well, you know I love a kidnapping. Can you kidnap it? This is my age.
Yeah, I don't think you can be kidnapped when you're over 18.
So he makes a number of much more alarming confessions, which we will get to after this break. Okay, so on the walk, he says to me, he goes, if your friends were to Yelp review you, what is one thing that they would all say about you? And now I'm getting annoyed because, like,
because he's talking in Bumble prompts.
Yes, I like the stalkerish stuff. That was actually fine. But like these like weird, yes, he's speaking in prompts.
Yes.
And so, you know, I'm like,
if you could have a superpower, Corinne, what would it be? And why?
So, all right. So I'm like, and before I can even answer, he's answering what his friends would say about him. Like, he's really talking a lot more than I am, which is a big red flag. Just because, like, you know how much I talk. For me not to get a word in, but whatever. So I tell him, of note, I told him, my friends would say I'm very smart. And then when the walk came to an end, I was like, I don't know where I parked.
Oh.
I can't find my car. So anyways, this is what happens after that. He says, so what are your thoughts on seeing where this leads? And I was like, wow,
this is after one date.
Correct.
How many hours was the date?
This happened 2 hours after the date. The date was an hour and a half, maybe. And he bought me nothing, guys.
This is only okay behavior if he has like a short amount of time to live. And it's actually a beautiful story.
Well, what's crazy is I said to him, because I was like, okay, I'm going to see if like this could go somewhere. So I go, okay, like, let's go to lunch. Remember, we were going to go to Cherry Creek Grill? And he goes, well, I have errands to run, but would you like to go wine tasting at Blanchard Family Wines and then for dinner in the Dairy Block tonight? And I was like, no. This is when you get the date. If you have errands to run, the date is concluding now.
Right.
Like, I'm not going home showering.
You can't hit pause on the date while you go do your life.
But also it felt like it's a bit ADD to be like, you want to do this? Now I want to do this. No, what about this? Like, I don't like that.
He's
like,
clearly
I'm a planner.
person that's into schedules.
He's not sticking to it very well. We had a 1 p.m. reservation as far as I knew. I thought, okay, now we're doing a 10:30 a.m. walk ahead of Farmer's Market and Grill or whatever.
Oh,
are you going to buy me something?
The walk then usurped and supplanted the 1 o'clock and everything.
All of the well-planned thing.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
If I didn't make that clear, that was the substitute. So he says, what are your thoughts on seeing where this leads? I just never respond.
I wouldn't do that, buddy.
He didn't let me.
Oh, I know he didn't.
No.
Without even knowing where this is going, I know not this guy. Yeah,
I tried. I couldn't ghost him. So he goes, are you alive?
No. Okay, here.
You haven't killed me yet, so yes.
The mandate for "Are you alive?" that text should come after 3 days of somebody you text regularly,
right.
Where you just go, I know you're busy and you got kids, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're my homeboy. Are you alive? The same day, are you alive?
No, this was the next morning.
I don't care.
So what are your thoughts on where this leads? That's at 4 o'clock. I hadn't responded by the next morning. You alive? So I was like, this motherfucker's not going to let me ghost. So I said, yes.
But do you kind of like that?
No.
Okay.
Because I think I might have come around. Like, I might have said something later, Sunday night. I might have actually texted, but now you've double texted me. So it's not good.
It's against protocol.
I said, yes, I'm alive. I went to the baseball game last night and I'm enjoying doing nothing today. So he goes, he said, I said, I'm doing nothing today. It was a Sunday. And he goes, let's do dinner and drinks. And I said, I can't tonight because I'm doing nothing today. I'm free tomorrow. He said, weekdays are tough with the gym and work, but next weekend for sure. I said, I'm in the mountains because my brother is coming to visit. So this is important. So I am going on a trip with my brother to the mountains. It's my brother''s birthday. He goes, gotcha. I'm sure we'll find time. I know I'll make the effort. I found you really attractive, easygoing, fun to be around. So I'd like to explore a relationship with you, Corinne.
He put your full name?
Yeah, he did. Might as well have said my last name, but he didn't know it. So, I mean, he knows it, but he didn't say it. So, anyways, so now he's kind of, now he's like back in with me because I'm like, oh, I do like the open directness. Like, that's what we're wanting. So I'm kind of like oscillating a little bit here. So I said, that's very sweet. I appreciate your honesty. Would like to see you again too.
Oh, you did.
That was not smart.
What? I know.
Wait.
What are you doing?
Now it falls off a cliff, okay? So he says, this is on Monday, and he knows I'm leaving Thursday for the mountains. He goes,
oh, he knows.
I'm planning to do another weekend of fall leaf peeping next weekend. Let's do one with your group, local to where you'll be, and then I'll just hike that location with you all.
Oh.
So he's now invited himself onto my trip. Do you think I let that fly?
And into our lives.
Right.
Any but your brother? Let's knock this out.
I have the tiniest, I have the smallest family of all time. Like, for you to meet my brother is like the highest echelon. Like, no.
What do you think? You introduce him to everybody you want to date with? Oh, here's my brother.
Okay, so I just wrote back that this weekend does not work because I am spending quality time with my brother, and bringing along a second date isn't something he would appreciate. Happy to find another time. He said, understandable, looking forward to that. So now I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. And then I get the worst text. The worst text. If you are listening to this, please learn from this.
Amazon delivered a body bag to your house. Jesus Lord.
He writes, and by the way, Monday, you don't reach out to me on a Monday. Like, Mondays are very, very tough for me. And like, I am not trying to get this kind of message on a Monday. When you think about the next 5 years, all the way through retirement, what
Oh, God.
What type of goals or visions do you have yourself as a relationship to your life, the lifestyle you want to have, and relationships that you're hoping to build?
Is he a fucking financial advisor for Morgan Stanley? Is he? Okay,
He's a financial advisor.
So is he trying to land a client?
I feel bad for this guy.
I didn't even think about that. I don't know, but I'm like, I own, you rent. Worry about your own motherfucking backyard.
Yeah.
Like, my retirement plan is on goal. I have an FA. Like, so I'm just like, absolutely not.
You a little bit baby reindeer this a little bit. You baby reindeer. First of all, let me just say,
that's the most perfect analogy.
I didn't get a chance to ever really express myself about how that guy got a fucking pass. He not only slept with literally everyone that hoved into his field of vision to make it to the top. He cheated on his girl. He led this insane person on and then sold a script about it. And everybody's like, oh, he's talking about mental health. I'm like, am I on the same planet?
Listen, you just came this. We were looking for a name, which I'm not going to disclose what we decided on for this story, like to put it, in queue. Baby Reindeer was the perfect.
You baby reindeered a little bit.
Here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen here. If there's any more to the story, TBC maybe. But I felt compelled to put that all out. And also, as far as I can tell, he doesn't have any social media. So I am.
Whoa. and I'm a guy that's like, I don't, that's not my jam all the way, but I have it. Like, is it 100% a red flag if somebody doesn't have it? Social media?
Oh, yeah.
100% red flag.
Yes.
They couldn't give you a reason as to why.
Well, I don't know if I asked him. I mean, his last name came up when he gave me his phone number.
How old is he?
Good question, 39.
Okay. Because if you're a little older and you don't have social media, it's okay.
Yeah. I see where you're going with that. Old enough to own a home. How about that?
Huh.
So I think for the most part, if you don't have social media, generally speaking, and also because I've scrubbed the internet as best I can of like my contact information. So obviously like, I'm a public figure and I don't want like my home address or my phone. So I'm like constantly like making sure that doesn't exist out there. But when you're like so ungoogleable that there's nothing, like there's not a LinkedIn, there's nothing, it's because something happened. Because you have to work to do that. Like, it's really hard to disappear.
That's a great point. That's
like, I pay a service to try and like sweep to make sure my shit isn't out there. Like, obviously, like this shit's out there. I mean, I'm pretty fucking public, but I don't need you knowing my phone number and where I live. So I have to like stay on that all the time.
That is so, there's nothing.
Nothing. This man does not exist.
That's
When you want to commit the perfect murder, it begins with.
Don't answer any more texts from him. Seriously, that's super weird. That the questions were weird anyway, and just like the precision of like where he wants
So
you.
cringy.
It strikes me as somebody that like wants to control until they're done, or if you decide to be done, they're like, no one's done with me until I say. That was from the beginning. That was really, I would be careful.
Yes.
That's very strange.
But I will not be careful. Because I do it all for the story. Okay, well, after this break, I'm going to come back and tell you another dating story, not quite as depressing as this one, though depressing in its own way. And then we're going to get to a listener email for relationship advice. So we'll be right back. Okay, so the other story I wanted to tell you is, first of all, this is not included in the story, but this just really pissed me off. One of my best friends, Jessica, had a guy she wanted to introduce me to. And I want to say that this very rarely happens. And she is one of very few people I would trust. And so she showed me pictures of him and I was like, yeah, he's really cute. And she's like, yeah, I used to work with him. So there's nothing there between us. And like, we're not going to be Eskimo sisters, but I will see if he's available and if he's interested. So she sends him some pictures of me and he's like, she's really cute. Like, I'm interested. And she said, okay, well, here's her Instagram. So go ahead, like, message her, just DM her on Instagram. And he writes back, he goes, no, I saw she has a picture with Richard Jefferson. I don't want anything to do with a girl that's into athletes. So you guys, first of all, it only took me 2 video episodes to mention Richard Jefferson.
Yes.
And second of all, fuck this guy. So Jess is like, that's her best friend. Like, she has nothing ever, there's nothing sexual. And he's like, I don't care. I don't like that look. So for all the people that are like, oh, I brag all the time that my best friend is a famous ex-NBA player, whatever. It does me no favors.
But
none.
Yes, he did do you a favor because he kept a weak dude out of your life. And any guy that's like, you're in a picture with another guy, like, yeah, unless it's like.
And the picture that he's referring to, I believe, there's plenty of pictures of him and I, but the one he's referring to is when I was wishing him a happy birthday of 20 years of friendship and I don't have any photos of him smiling. So I edited the photo. So it's funny. But it's like literally in the photo, it tells you that I have known him for 20 plus years. Anyways, I digress. Okay, so let me get to the other problematic story.
No sense.
So I matched with a gentleman and he gave me his phone number. When he gave me his phone number, and he's very cute. When he gave me his phone number, I monkey banged it into the system, beep, boop, 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 and discovered that he has a $4.5 million vacation property. And he immediately jumped to the front of the queue.
There we go.
Yes. And I got very excited about him. So what was happening is we were messaging back and forth on the app. And then he sent his phone number, which I verified. Well, see, I wouldn't normally, like, if you give me your phone number, I'll just be like, let's keep it to the app until we meet. However, in this case, it was really him. He's really searchable. And like I said,
right,
he had a fuck you mansion.
You already had his number.
Yeah.
4.5 million.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hell yeah. And I knew something was up because one of the pictures he was on a step and repeat. If you don't know what that is, it's when there's a red carpet, there's something behind you and you step and repeat like your little pose in front of it. So they call it a step and repeat. But the party he was at, I know the party. And I was like, that's very hard to get into. I don't want to give away too many details, but I knew he had to have had money or knew someone with money. All right. So I am soups excited. So I take his phone number, I put it into my phone, and I realize that our last communication, I didn't know I knew him, was in 2021.
Oh, so you have already.
So I already explored this, but he ghosted me in 2021. Like, sent me a picture. You can see I'm like, hey, like, what's your schedule? When are you free? And he's like, we'll reach out to you next week. And I'm like, all right. And then I just dropped it. And so did he. So now when I put his number in my phone, I have to awkwardly be like he's going to realize it too if he didn't delete the messages. I said, hey, it's Corinne. I think we've matched before, obviously. Looks like we texted in 2021. So we never met. There's still a chance to change that. And he said, we did. Yeah, dating apps are tough as many people never even meet up. And I said, but I usually do. I try not to even swipe right if I wouldn't plan to meet you. Well, now it's not. Now this is 3 years in the making instead of 3 weeks. And he said, right. Well, I'm around next week if you want to look at your schedule. I tell him I have a meeting. He goes, let me know. How about Sunday night? I said, okay. And then he goes, I'm up in the mountains. I'll be back Sunday. We'll touch base then. Never heard from him again. This motherfucker ghosted me twice. I didn't even know you could do that. Reanimate the ghost and then kill it again.
But do you, okay, you guys are in the app texting.
Yeah.
So do you think that you guys should have been texting?
No. This is texting via phone. No.
Oh,
No, that's how I knew that we had already matched before. His fucking full first and last name was in my phone. I'm like, wow, how come I slept on this the first time around? So now I'm back at the second time around. I'm like, make an effort. So I got one guy who is definitely interested in marrying me.
I would say so.
And then I unfortunately got the other end of the spectrum. What is this?
You need one right in the middle. Well, I mean, the second guy, do you think that should have been a sign that you shouldn't even try to continue, that you saw that it had already dropped off and you didn't notice? Mm-hmm. It's not even that he did it and you were heartbroken and like me and Chris had to console you. It's like you didn't notice either.
No, I didn't.
Because
I don't remember. The weird thing is he's very handsome. He doesn't even look familiar to me. And he had sent me pictures in the text messages, like him at Oktoberfest, and like he had a shaved head. And I was like, oh, I love a shaved head. And I clearly saw this gentleman's face and like did not recognize it at all. Right. 3 years later. So that's how many.
Because you didn't care. There are people that you've dated, I'm sure of it, that every time you see them, even if like it was really nasty when you left each other's company, they make your heart flutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and see, you don't see how you kind of relax your, you're like, yeah.
I know.
This guy didn't make you feel like that.
No. Clearly not. But I didn't meet him, so I don't know. Yeah,
we're gonna keep hanging out for number one. He's coming.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, don't talk to baby reindeer guy. Don't do something chirping.
Yes, what is that chirping? Is it a little bird outside?
I think it is. Yeah, we can't fight nature.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay, guys, I want to get to a listener email. So you can write into us, as always, at mysafewordismoreadvice@gmail.com. And this is a great email that I would love to get. I think Al's going to actually be better at handling this than I would be, just because of the topic. So this person asked to be anonymous.
Okay.
He said, my family is doing Thanksgiving at a vacation destination. I've invited my partner. He's met a lot of my family, but not all of the relatives who will be there. And just to be clear, these are gay men. My partner is extremely anti-Trump, and some of those relatives are Trump supporters. My mom told me to tell my partner not to start an argument. My partner said he definitely will start an argument if he disagrees with someone. Oh. Yeah.
That's when you want your partner to go, of course not. Who cares?
Right. It's your family.
Make your life easier.
Come on.
Mm-mm. So he says, I would find an argument entertaining, but my family would dislike my partner. I could beg my partner to not argue, but he's so outspoken. I don't think he can resist that urge. If they say anything pro-Trump, he will probably call them homophobic immediately. And that would just be the beginning. What the fuck should I do? Keep in mind, we are on an all expensive vacation together for another 2 days after Thanksgiving dinner. I paid for his plane ticket and the hotel, and I think that's relevant. I think it's relevant too. I have an opinion on that.
I have lots of thoughts. First of all, there's things you can't know. I would like to know the ratio of Trump supporters, avid Trump supporters, because it sounds like he's walking into a family that is majority Trump supporters. And I will say this in defense of his partner. Do I think he should try to avoid at all costs? Yes. Do I think, unless he really can't help himself, don't go there, bro? But there's a point, too, where when people are poking you and egging you on, you first acknowledge that, like, I know what you're doing. I'm trying, but just say, I'm trying to say, like, I'm having a good time. But, like, I know what you're doing, and I don't want to do this. I'm excited to meet your family. But if they keep pushing, you got to stand up for yourself. Like, nobody respect somebody that just lays down. And he should also stand up for his partner, or maybe even call ahead to his family and be like, hey, bruh, I know you guys like the fireworks. I like this guy. If things go left and I feel like he's attacked, we won't be here next year, because our presence is our only source of, like, that's our only collateral. So if you guys violate that, we'll take our presence and we won't be here. So you guys, it's your call. But either way, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving.
I had a different take on this.
Talk to me.
He's paying. I paid for your silence. Shut the fuck up. Let them say. I don't look, I'm the least political person, but if I know anything about Trump people, they always say something.
Right.
So you're just gonna have to not say anything. We know they're probably homophobic. We know this is problematic. Arguing with them isn't gonna change anything. I paid for this trip. This is my family. Shut your mouth. What the problem, it sounds like, is that even if that is the circumstance, his partner just like may not be able to shut up.
And I think he knows
So
that he can't.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of pull the ripcord situation, right? Like,
I don't think there has to be. You could just eat and have a few drinks and have a low-level party conversation. Hey, how are things? Oh, that team, anyway.
I was thinking something, this is like really like a reach, but just think about how like something like this that would work in your capacity. Like I would, if it were me and I was going with some dude that was like a big Trump supporter and my family is not into that, as soon as shit was getting a little heated, I'd be like, guess what, boo? I bought you a cigar. It's a Cuban. Go outside. You know, like
Cuban.
Yeah, like some kind of like something to like, you're not pulling, I'm not saying pull the ripcord and like storm out. I'm saying have like some kind of treat system.
I know, ideally, but what if as he's walking out, somebody says one more thing? You know, there's like you've been in that situation where people are being separated either verbally or physically, and it's kind of dying down, and somebody goes, and that's why me and your mom, just they say that one last thing. I guarantee you that him getting pulled out wouldn't just go in idyllically like what you're painting.
It sounds to me like maybe the easier people to calm down would be your family and not him. So like same treat system, but with the family instead. Like, surprise, I made Jell-O shots. Everyone, let's do a toast. You know, like just, you're going to have to, that would be my best advice. That, or, I mean, you got to pick, where's the weakest link? Can we tell him, listen, I paid for your flight and the 2 days of an expensive vacation after this. I'm also paying for your silence. Will he go for that? Or can we go, is the weakest link your family? And can we get them to acquiesce and to not say anything?
Because think about how that hits your ear. I paid you to shut up and take it. That's like what a masochist would do, or a sadist or whatever. Like that's.
I mean, you say it better than that, but that's what you're saying.
There's going to be resentment if you and I went to your parents' place upstate, and you pay for the ticket and everything. And then you were like, hey, the groundskeeper, listen, he likes to let a few N-bombs fly. Like, I'm not going to but I paid, you know? So, like, you can't ask somebody to have their dignity trampled because you hit up United for a round trip.
By the way, I don't think it's the groundskeeper. Usually it's the homeowner. I don't know. This is a hard one, especially for me, because I'm just, like, political stuff is so silly to me. Like,
Well, I think it used to be, and now it's people, and has been for almost a half decade now, people's entire identity. Mm-hmm. People go to rallies, they meet people there, they marry them, they have business with them. So it's like, it's who they are, not just like a vote that they tick.
To be clear, if you said something to me that was like anti-Semitic or homophobic, like anything racist, like if you said that to me, yes, I'm not gonna fucking shut my mouth. But if all you said was like Trump what is it, 2026? When do we vote them?
2026.
Did I get that right?
No.
Oh.
It's in a month.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a new president in a month?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
How do you not know this?
I genuinely feel like people's signs say Waltz something, Kamala, 2026.
2024.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Positive.
Well, color me interested.
Wow.
So when will they ask me to vote?
In a month.
Yeah, you can.
That's when I go to the booth?
You can start
Yep,
voting
yep.
now, though.
Just tell you?
Yeah, you tell me and I'll tell a guy. That's how rumors get started.
This
Have
is
a
why-
January 6th at my place.
This is literally why this is such a hard question for me, because I'm like, how silly. Just ignore it.
That is, I mean, you know, you'll have to almost be our living experiment where you're the control group of what a human being lives like when they don't get bogged down with a bunch of social issues. And you just live you live every day like just like a single-use plastic knife and fork where it's like a brand new day and then you throw it away and nothing lingers. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I pay attention to certain things, like is Ben Affleck on the wagon or what? But like, Not the campaign.
Maybe because when we used to do stories on Daily Blast Live, Chris, and like celebrity would endorse a candidate, I'd be like, who cares? But now that celebrity would be alerting somebody like Corinne, like, yeah, that is tomorrow. All right.
Yeah, you know, years ago when they had like the vote or die campaign, Diddy did it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well,
How
I
did
think
Diddy sneak in?
Yeah.
that was directed at me because I'm like, wait, what? We're voting? That's genuinely. This is not an act. I swear to God.
And why do you act like somebody woke you up at 3 a.m. and was like, we're voting right now?
It feels that
what?
way.
Like, no, you have 4 years to get ready for this moment.
No. We just got that PE teacher like yesterday.
No, this has been
Right?
going on for a while.
No, it's been longer. It was a short campaign, though.
Feels like they just introduced
months
this guy
ago.
to us.
Right.
Couple months.
Well, anyways, you don't come here for that kind of stuff. Chris, take us out. What you got?
I need about 10 minutes right
And
now.
she also had to tell the viewer that's why you don't come here. They're like, we know.
By the way, you don't go into a family thing and argue with them. You just don't do it.
What if they say something, Chris?
Certainly if they say something super racist or whatever, then you remove yourself because that's just unacceptable. So
Yeah.
that's no good. But you don't argue with a family at Thanksgiving or something. You keep your mouth shut. But there are little subtle ways to do it. I get stuck with people when I'm playing golf who are like Trumpers. And like they'll be like, where are you from? I'm like, Los Angeles. And they're like, oh, it's so terrible there. And I always say something like, yeah, but it is quite beautiful and it's perfect weather all year. Or they'll go like, COVID, what a big mistake everything was. And I'll go, yeah, hindsight's 2020. And, a lot of people died. But yeah. And then I change the subject. So you make your point subtly and then you just move on.
Right.
That's what that listener has to do. I'm pretty sure Eskimo Sisters isn't okay. I don't know what.
Oh,
what
I'm
that even
100%
means.
sure it's
So
not.
She threw
What
that
do you
one out
mean?
there, and so I just want to say
That's what if you both had sex with the same person.
Yes, we know what that is.
But the phrase is probably not okay.
Fine.
So I'll just apologize.
Inuit
to the
sisters?
Inuits or whoever might be
Inuit
offended by that
sisters.
because it's
They're
probably
not
not okay.
You know what I meant, you guys.
Yeah, they're
And
not
really,
a
just
financial
to conclude,
organization.
after 80 plus episodes of dating disasters, right?
I can still do it.
Let's find Corinne love. New viewers, new listeners out there. Here's what you got to be. You got to be tall, 6'2" minimum.
Minimum, yes.
Okay, great. You got to be hot.
Yes.
That's super important. You have to have your hair, and you can have a shaved head, apparently.
Yes.
But hair, shaved head. You have to have good teeth. Absolutely vital. And a job is important. Now, things like personality, intelligence, humor, a belief system, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So if you're out there listening, please write us in.
Yeah. I mean, why not use this podcast to get me a date?
Look,
Oh,
I
God,
told you, you're going to find your man. You've kind of found him in half of the last two guys.
If I cobbled together several people
yeah.
and then they stayed with me,
that could be your
who knows?
four things.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I still can't believe you didn't know that this year was a presidential. Like, I haven't moved
Someone
past
told me.
that moment.
Someone's sign says 2026. Okay. Someone's sign.
It absolutely does not. You just say it does, and you're like, okay. And I'm like, no.
Well, it was an
there's
even
no
number.
sign that says that.
And I must have gotten the 4 and the 6 confused. But I thought we had a lot more time. Like, it definitely didn't think it was a month away. All right. Tell the people.
All right, guys. We appreciate you coming here, obviously, for the cutting edge political talk. But remember, this is not a podcast about life.
It's about me becoming baby reindeer.
Slightly.
Okay, before we go, guys, I want to remind you that you can not only listen to us wherever you find your podcast, but you can also see us on video at the My Safe Word Is More YouTube, and you can always catch us on our Instagram, also My Safe Word Is More.
We look very cute on our YouTube.
We do.